Alright, so things are turning for the better for Outriders. Finally, it seems that not just Group A and B are getting God Roll items restored, but pretty much the entirety of the player base is getting them. I also got a couple of items max rolled. They look pretty awesome, including a Death Shield shotgun. Now, yeah, technically speaking, I scrapped one of these, got it restored. It was pretty bad with only like 76k firepower, and it got restored with almost like 100k. So let's talk about that in this video. You might also get affected by this restoration process because it seems that people can fly simply cannot distinguish the last two groups, essentially Group B from Group C. So yeah, everybody is getting some free legendaries in at least one way or another. So starting things off with the Thursday news, character and inventory restoration for all characters in Group B and C is now underway, and that basically includes the rest of the player base. Earlier this morning they've announced that they would be doing it for Group A, which was already happening at that point, and if you already got the character stuck at some point in the past, now it should be pretty much restored, and you don't even need to like apply any patch. Just jump into the game, see if it is, and check the items on your character. But as a reminder, here is what you can expect to happen for the Group B restoration. Essentially up to 20 now God rolled legendary items will be in your inventory. And who will benefit from the restoration, you might ask? Well, it's pretty awesome. Players who lost a legendary item up until 20th of April 2021, and lost means items lost to a bug or sold to a vendor, though I will also add dismantle in the mix, because I definitely dismantled a death shield at some point and got a revert on it, but now it is with God rolled on it, so looks really awesome. Even though they mention later that dismantle items will not be restored, as our analytics are able to conclusively prove that they were not lost to the bug, so at least that's what they're claiming. Now, I will say this, I'm not 100% sure I didn't vendor that item. I'm pretty sure I was just dismantling things back then, but you know what? I'm gonna take their word for it, at least for now. But inventory restoration for Group B characters is now underway and will complete over the next day or so. As a reminder, yeah, you can expect those 20 legendary items back in your inventory. Now, the thing is that they can't properly distinguish between Group B, which were people who, yeah, did lose gear but were still playable, so players may have continued playing on these characters since the wipe, maybe even got better gear in the meantime or made more meaningful progression in the meantime. And then Group C are essentially all other players in the Outriders gaming population who did not encounter an inventory wipe at all, but these groups will also be affected as well, and this is the important reminder right here, as we are unable to conclusively distinguish Group B from Group C players. Both of these groups, so B and C together, will benefit from the restoration as well. Therefore, even if you did not encounter an inventory wipe, you may well receive up to 20 God rolled legendary items that you may have previously lost to a bug or sold to a vendor. Again, they are mentioning that dismantle items will not be restored as their analytics, yada yada. Again, I kinda doubt it a little bit, because I'm pretty sure I smashed that death shield into pieces and not vendored it. But the above explains where the additional God rolled legendary items come from that you may find in your inventory following our restoration process today. These items can be freely sold, scrapped, or used. And here is the cool thing about it. I checked this, it only worked by the way on my Trickster, even though I dismantled and sold a ton of legendaries because I just got a ton of duplicates. But in this case, I got a bunch of these back. I think that I even had an inventory completely like gone over here because I put everything in my bank. But as you can see, I got a death shield back. Now previously I remember having a really low firepower one of below 80,000 firepower. I sold it or scrapped it, can't even remember, but they gave it back with maximum rolled stats on it. In this case, it's 99.4, which is going to be crazy because it's gonna make my build a little bit crazier, but I already had a pretty good one of 89.9, so it's a difference of about, well, actually it's a big difference of 10k. scratch that. This is really awesome. I really like this now. Now they also gave me a bulwark. The previous one that I had was 90k, and at some point I must have gotten like a ton of duplicates that I either sold or scrapped. And I got one back with, again, maximum roll on it, 99.4k. And I got a bunch of others in there too, like Rarok's Gaze, I believe that, yeah, the Reaper, also, yeah, pretty much everything actually. My entire inventory right now, at least in the primary weapon right here, it seems that I got back pretty much everything with the maxed roll stats. Now I did go ahead and check out my other items. I checked especially the armors, because I was kinda, you know, thinking that maybe armors would fit there too, but yeah, not really. They didn't roll on armors, at least for me, because it seems that I didn't dismantle or sell any of these, so they are essentially the exact same as I've left them. Now, not that I really care, honestly, because my build was finalized. I don't really care about these god rolls, at least for me. It's not like these will significantly change anything for my build. Like 10k firepower is good enough, but it's not like it's going to make or break my build, as I'm already generating a ton of firepower when I'm actually playing, killing enemies, killing mobs. So it's like a marginal increase. It's welcomed, but I can already see some people like jumping in and like being mad at the whole situation, instead of like being happy that people who lost items get restored and get the pleasure of playing with their characters again. They will look at the situation instead of kind of like an unfair advantage, even though they had plenty of time to maybe farm in the same amount of time. Like, it's been weeks at this point in which you could have gone in and farmed some items and maybe even get something really close to a god roll or whatever. So yeah, totally let me know down below in the comment section, did you get any new god rolls in there? Did you get anything that might be useful for your build? Because, you know, I've seen some situations with people that might receive some stuff in there that has worked really well for them. Now, on a final note, it also seems that the team is making progress on the damage mitigation issue that we've talked about a couple of days ago, with enemies seemingly one-shotting players, doing way too much damage, and defensive buffs seemingly not working up against them. So they are continuing to investigate this matter. Thank you to everyone who has already provided helpful information. While we continue to work on this matter, here are some potential workarounds which have helped some players who encountered this issue consistently. So first thing, unequip all of your armor, then re-equip it again. If this doesn't help, unequip all armor, hard restart the full game. So don't just return to the lobby, but instead go ahead and close and reopen the game and then re-equip the armor. It seems that this has worked for a number of people. And then the latest, we are making progress with our investigation, but don't yet have further news to share around this issue at this point in time. We will, however, share updates as soon as we are able to. So this was basically, yeah, earlier today. So yeah, it looks like they're making progress with that. Now, this is like one of the last things that I want to see them just go ahead and fix in terms of the bugs, so we can go back on track. The game right now is kind of struggling, and for good reason. I've already said this, but the bugs are simply the biggest foe against PCF, against the game. They're the biggest reason why there's such a big population drop-off. It's also been a month, more than a month actually, since the game's release, and naturally there's no more content in there, so people who already play the game pretty much maxed out everything, or got close or very close to maxing out everything, and they don't really need more. So until there's going to be a content update, or maybe until there's like a good fix that comes in and makes the game fully playable, including the multiplayer, then we shall see another population bump. But I would not expect a significant bump until there is some content update, as it is usual with these games. But this is it with the news. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.